Efteling in the Netherlands is a theme park that is widely considered their version of Disneyland. You are watching Theme Park Escape, and this is the review of Efteling, World of Wonders. So, where do I begin? This is a theme park located in Holland or the Netherlands, whichever one you prefer to say, and this is widely considered one of the best theme parks in the world. It has a wide selection of rides and attractions. Started off with the fairytale forest and worked its way up to being one of the top destinations in the world. It has immersive fantasy theming, so much cool stuff to see, and we barely had any time to do this on our trip. So I completely recommend you to stay in one of their accommodations, spend 2 to 3 days there, because you can definitely not fit everything in a day. There is too much to do. When you are at the park, you are greeted with this massive entrance known as the House of the Five Senses. This just massive building with 3 tents, or they look like it, and it's just magical. This just symbolises Efteling in so many ways. It is just a magical entrance for a theme park and definitely brings a lot of light to the entrance. Once you are past the entrance and ticket booths, you are greeted with a wide selection of rides and attractions, and the atmosphere that the whole park creates is beautiful. It's a very green, posh area. You can tell this is a big destination for people. It just brings so much charm. The whole park is really aesthetic, but it is also really well themed, from the rides and to the actual plazas and areas that the rides are in themselves. Sometimes they even have a gimmick, like the bins. If you put trash in the bin, it would say something like, I don't know, the one I put it in farted. That's what I have to say. They have their own custom soundtracks, which are incredible, like the Willinger Hollander, Joris and the Gulag, Baron 1898. Speaking of them, these are some of the greatest themed coasters I have been on. These will hopefully get their own reviews soon. I haven't done reviews on coasters in a while, and I've barely done any theme park reviews. That's why I'm doing this one. And they are just really good, great themed roller coasters. And yeah, it's just fantastic how they have done this. So let's talk about these rides and attractions. So we started off the day at Python. Now this is a Vekoma Looper, as you may know, and we had mid expectations. That we thought that it was going to be better than a Millennium, but a little bit better, because it looked more intense than just smooth, and it was. But from when we went on other rides, they got a bit more better than the Python. And the Python, the coaster's alright, but one thing they can improve with the Python is the theming. I did not see that much theming at all on the ride, and in the queue all I saw was greenery, which is still beautiful, but they just need something to do with that. They could even replace it with something else, but because it's a classic, I don't see them replacing it anytime soon. The next ride we did was the Willinger Hollander, and this was, I'm gonna put this in a whole different review because all I have to say is, wow, this is such a good coaster. So a review of that coaster will be coming soon. Then we took a little stroll to Vogelrock. The stroll was quite aesthetic. We went past the pagoda, the gondoletta, gondoletta, and that was a little boat ride. It looked pretty nice. Plus, I didn't realise they had a giant fish in the water. I did not know that, so kind of glad I didn't get to go on that. But we were running out of time, and this was a big trip. We arrived late, and we had to leave early. Plus, this was a school trip, so plus it was also busy. But on our way to Vogelrock was this massive bird as its entrance, and the roller coaster itself genuinely surprised me. I thought it was going to be really good, not as bad as Eurosat, which it wasn't because Eurosat cannot be beaten, but it was still a really good ride. It's themed to the Sinbad's story of him fighting the rock. I don't know, it's just a beast from Sinbad's tales, and wow, they did not have to do that much for that coaster, because they didn't do that much for Eurosat either. But you go past the snake, you go past the rock itself. It's a really good roller coaster. But right next to it is a dark ride that I like, but it definitely needs some improving. Carnival Festival. Now this ride, man, already in the queue, we knew what to expect, and it delivered. It was quite racist. They depicted Japanese people with buck teeth and African people with sticks and all that, and I didn't really like it. I think they should improve because it's just giving a bad view for all the little children going on it and how they think they are depicted, which they are not. So I would maybe improve that ride if I was the person or people that own Efteling. But the ride itself is really good. It is a really charming ride. I don't know if I prefer it to it. It's a small world in Disney World, Florida. But it is a really charming ride, and I get why a lot of kids like it. We then met a couple of our mates, and we decided to go on a really good roller coaster, a really good ride, Rejoicing with Luck. Now, I thought the queue was a bit mid. They could have easily improved on it. But that Dragon animatronic, bro, it's so good, that Dragon animatronic. The soundtrack as well is just impeccable, dude. It's just one of the best soundtracks ever, and it goes like da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. It's amazing, dude. The roller coaster itself, we got back row, and that was just mental. I might do its own review, so I won't say that much, but incredible. You go past the dragon, the jewel, it is really good. Another roller coaster that we did after Jocelyn the Black was Baron 1898. Once again, they could have improved the queue, like how they did with the Willinger Hollander. That is such a good queue, they do not need to change it at all. But this, again, they need to improve. They need to have like some activities in the queue, like how they do on another roller coaster I'm going to mention in this video. The pre-show though is amazing. I think it is an impeccable pre-show, incredible. Just so many good words to say about this show, this pre-show. It is amazing. And as well, when you are about to get on board, you see the animatronic of the Baron himself. At least I think it is. There's too much lore into these rides. It is just, this ride is amazing. And you've got another pre-show in the actual ride itself. Like, bruh, how many pre-shows do you want? But that'll get its own review as well, hopefully. But Baron 1898, a solid dive coaster. I don't know if I prefer it over Oblivion though, they're both equal. Then, that is all the main coasters done. But we need to mention the dark rides. Symbolica. What do I have to say? We went the hero's route, and man, that is just such a good dark ride. Like, how do people make this stuff? The pre-show, man, like, oh my lord, the animatronics were so good. They were like beyond Disney level. They were so good. There's words that don't describe this ride. Experience it for yourself. It's just, I don't want anyone to get spoiled on this ride. It's so good. Then we headed to the more kiddish ride, the more kiddish coaster in the whole entire park, and that was Max and Moritz. This is an alright family coaster. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, and I wouldn't say it's one of the worst. It's on level with Alpine Express Arnzion at Europa Park. I think it's the worst of the powered coasters I have done, so Runaway Mine Train is better as well. But the theming is another good aspect of the ride. You have a lot of activities in the queue. You see Max and Moritz pop out of nowhere. This is just a family coaster, so I won't go that much in depth for it, but if you've got kids, your kids will absolutely love this roller coaster. But one that they might not like is Fata Morgana. Now this ride is pretty creepy. It's based off 1001 Nights, and if I was a kid I would have definitely gotten freaked out. You've got a tiger attacking you, crocodiles that try and attack you, you go into a giant in between his legs, and it is really freaky. I don't want any spoilers again, because these dark rides are amazing and they should be experienced with no spoilers. For this review, I would not recommend if you have kids, because it is pretty freaky. And the last thing that we did, that was the last ride, but the last attraction that we did that you have got to experience no matter who you are is the Fairytale Forest. You cannot talk about Efteling without mentioning the Fairytale Forest. This is just hands down one of the best family attractions ever. You've got Longneck, you've got Monstro from Pinocchio, you've got the talking tree, you have the Chinese nightingale, you've got the dragon, you've got so much stuff in this area. It is so good, and even me, being a thrill seeker, you've got to just go to this place, no matter who you are, adrenaline junkie, all that. You have got to go to this place when you visit Efteling. And most of my friends didn't, but they are going to regret it, because it is such, even if you are kind of bored, you can just have so much fun, because you pay 50 cents, a donkey poops out a coin, like, it's just so good. And those were the rides that we did, but there was so much more to do. You got the land, something. You got a land with like weird human-like things. I don't know. And you've got a monorail where you you're on a snail, I think, and you're like on a monorail around the town. You've got the gondoletta I mentioned earlier, the pagoda, which I mentioned earlier. You have got the piranha that was sadly closed when we went. I would have liked to have done that because I liked fjord rafting at Europa Park. We didn't do Drumvlucht, sadly. We were going to, but we ran out of time. We were also going to do Villa Volta, but we ran out of time. You have got Sia Loco, looking like one of the best teacup rides. You used to have this sea storm type of ride called Polka Malina, I think. You used to have a wooden coaster that got replaced by Jarvis and the Black, which is a much better choice of roller coaster. It was called Pegasus. You've got the Bob, which from what I've heard is sadly missed, and you've just got so much more. I definitely recommend this place. I give it a solid 8.5. From my visit, I do prefer Portaventura, but if I go again and it's not busy, we have more time, we do Aquanura, we do Raven, we didn't do any other shows either. If we do them, I probably would prefer this over Portaventura, but right now, 8.5, Portaventura 8.6. And that is where I am going to head off. Like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully more reviews will be coming soon. I'll see you later.